How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for joining me on episode 4 of the Facebook Hackers Show. Today I'm joined by Daniel Batcheler of Be Social NZ. They help local hospitality business owners, restaurant owners, and cafe owners and the like generate more foot traffic and bring in new customers from their local area. This is definitely a must-watch if you fall into that particular category, because Daniel goes into detail as to the mechanisms they're using and some of the marketing strategies they're using to not only bring in new customers but increase the lifetime value of those customers as well. Let's get into it. I've got Daniel Batcheler from Be Social. Now, Be Social, if you haven't heard of them before and you haven't seen their ads, I feel sorry for you first and foremost because they're great ads. And essentially, Be Social and Daniel and his other business partner help restaurant owners flood their restaurant and their local business with local customers. Daniel, thanks for being on the show, my friend.
Yeah, no problem, Rev. No problem. Looking forward to the questions you're going to fire my way.
Absolutely. Well, question number one, Daniel, how'd you get into what you guys do? And I guess more specifically, what do you do?
Sure. All right. Probably quick 30-second backstory. About 5 years ago, my business partner and I, we sort of teamed up, both keen to get into business, both had some, I guess, interest in marketing and sort of our first sort of start in the, let's say, world of marketing. We started working with small businesses, anyone and everyone who would sort of take us, I guess. So, real estate agents, mechanics, bike shops, couple restaurants and bars and that sort of thing. What we used to do was just take some cool photos and do some social posting, just as like essentially the problem we are trying to solve was take the pain away of social media admin, I guess. Then sort of realized, hey, if we're going to take it serious, we need to focus on one niche. So then we said, look, let's focus on hospo. We like food, we like drink, so let's put our energy there. So from there, grew a small portfolio of clients, continued doing Instagram posting, got into a little bit of video, that sort of thing, making them little snippet videos and stuff. But essentially, we ran into the problem of not being able to track what we were doing. So we'd make
Yep.
a post, hope that the restaurant's target customers would see those posts. Hopefully they liked them. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Maybe they came in and spent some money. Maybe they didn't. Just a bit of a guessing game. So that was probably like the first big revolution. Sort of realizing that if you're going to do marketing, being able to sort of prove or track what's going on is an important thing. So from there, launched on a bit of a journey to come up with trackable marketing strategies. So from there, built a range of different programs centered around trackable results for hospitality. So we got sort of three key programs there: 4 month, 8 month, and 12-month programs, and probably worked with maybe 400 venues doing that sort of stuff. Probably over the past 5 years, I'd say 500 venues we've done some marketing work with before. Um, and today, probably working with about 120 clients, helping them with marketing. And we're just moving into a sort of a new revolution for hospo marketing, and that is sort of focusing on function, lead generation, and sales. So hospitality businesses that may have a function space where they can hire out for like birthday parties or corporate events. Typically, those can be underutilized. So we're focusing some marketing efforts on that side. Yeah, in a nutshell, that's the journey.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. I have to say, I definitely resonated with the whole kind of organic social posting.
Mhm.
Going way back in the day, my first entry into any sort of Facebook marketing a bit over 8 years ago was just in a fitness business. As you would know, it's just like, you're your own walking billboard, and you'd post as much stuff and as many motivational quotes and nutrition tips and everything as you can on that Facebook feed or that Facebook page.
Mhm.
Albeit, reach was a lot better back then.
Mhm.
But that was the strategy, if nothing else. And sometimes you get great reach, and sometimes you wouldn't. And I think a lot of business owners are still kind of perhaps not stuck, but they don't know what they don't know, and they think that just having a Facebook page and being present on the page only is going to be enough to reach new customers. What's your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I mean, social media as like a platform or let's just say an advertising medium changes a lot. But like the Wild West, once upon a time, um, people spent a lot of time, energy, trying to grow a lot of likes, a lot of followers on their social media pages. And I think the reason being was they think if I get a big following on Facebook and Instagram, I can make some posts to my page, and all my target people are going to see those posts. Hence, I can get free marketing at my fingertips. And that was sort of a train of thought for quite a long time. But social media is definitely pay to play now, and it's been pay to play for a while, meaning you got two identical businesses, one that pays money, one that doesn't. The one that pays is always going to win in the long run, in my opinion. And then it becomes a game of how efficiently can you turn, let's say, a fixed advertising budget into the maximum number of results you're looking for. So people can still be of the thought pattern that getting likes and followers and organic posting is going to do the trick, but that's multiple years in the past now, in my opinion, where you've got some marketing assassins out there who look at all the little micro details of how to run ads. So it can be a bit of a skewed playing field if you're talking about the world of social media. But yeah, definitely pay to play. It's been that way for a while. That's probably, I guess, some concise thoughts about that.
That's really good insight. When you think about it like out loud like that, you often find that, you're almost one of the biggest strategies I heard of is exactly what you mentioned, which was, hey, I'm just going to run a like campaign, get
Mm,
as many people to like my page. And I'm going to be able to reach those people again because they like my page. Facebook's going to show them to my followers,
mm,
Instagram and Facebook. And again, that was a pretty sound strategy way back in the day. But now that reach just isn't there.
mm,
We do have to pay to play, and we do have to throw a bit of money at it too in order to reach out to people who haven't heard of us before.
mm,
Definitely.
mm.
What are some of your strategies? Don't have to give away the secret sauce. Generally speaking, what's your strategy in getting restaurant owners out there in a paid format?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I don't mind sharing all the secrets. I've got nothing really to hide. Um, I look at the subject of marketing for, let's just say, local business. You can have your more direct response side of marketing. Let's just say, in simplified terms, pay some money to get a specific result. Someone give you their email address, someone click to view your website or make a purchase. Let's just say paying some money for a specific result, and then you would look at success based on a cost per result. Let's just sort of put it there. Then there's more of like a branding side. Your social media posting, your cool photos, your nice videos, and Facebook lives, and building a brand. Let's just say branding. Okay, so I like to focus on the direct response side. Also, branding is very important. And I think once upon a time, it was all brand. And then it sort of got to a point of being all direct response. Now I'm seeing it pretty equal in terms of level of importance because they feed each other a lot. You can get cheaper cost per results by having an
Mm.
awesome marketing ecosystem, let's say. But an awesome marketing ecosystem alone is probably not going to give you enough of a lever in your business to achieve what you're looking to do. So um, if I'm talking purely on the direct response side, what we like to do is run social media ads. And the results that we're looking to get is a database subscriber. So we want people in the local area of a restaurant to give us their name, their email address, their phone number, and ideally their Facebook Messenger contact so we can re engage with them on multiple channels. So we got their email address, we got their phone number, and Facebook Messenger. So we then use these three channels to re-engage with that database subscriber in the local area. We can send them offers, we can give them business updates, we can quiz them about questions in our business that we may be looking to do. So for instance, if I want to put a pizza oven in my restaurant, I might want to know, hey, what are the top 5 pizzas that people in my local area are looking for? Hence, I can ask them these questions. So essentially, we run social media ads to grow a database of locals, and then we monetize that local database. And what that does is it allows us to track what's going on, who from the database comes in, how much are they spending, are they first-time customers, yes or no? Are they having a good experience, bad experience? What feedback can they give us? And if it's negative, we want to catch it there. We don't want them to go to Google or TripAdvisor to leave bad reviews. But
Yeah.
essentially, that's sort of the direct response stuff that we like to focus on, and we do other things. Probably a bit too technical to focus on here, but in a nutshell, that's where our attention's been for the past number of years.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. Hey,
Mm.
how are you guys measuring that? Say if I gave you those details, those personal details of mine from a paid ad, how do
Mm.
you measure that I've seen an SMS or an email or a message through Facebook Messenger, and then I walk in through, say, Dan's Pizzeria? How are you guys
Mm.
measuring that?
Sure. So, a couple different ways. I'll give you, let's just do, we got a simple offer. We have a garlic bread, let's say a fried chicken offer. Okay. So, I won't touch on what makes a good offer and what doesn't. Let's just say we have a promo in the restaurant that we want to do, and it's a 2 for 1 fried chicken offer. Okay. Come in, buy one, and we'll give you a complimentary second. So, let's say that's a promotion that we want to run. What we can do is send everyone on the database an email, a Facebook Messenger message, and sometimes, depending on how aggressive you want to go, an SMS blast. Okay, so we've got a database. Send this offer out to the database. What we would do is then say, in order to redeem this in the terms and conditions of the offer, there'll be a little redeem button. And so, what we would do is, if they open the email, we'll send them to Facebook Messenger and give them a message with a little offer. And then underneath that offer within Facebook Messenger, there'll be a little button called redeem. And so they'll then walk into the restaurant, sit down, order their fried chicken. Ideally, they're spending more money. Maybe they're going to buy a beer, get a wine. If I go, I might bring my girlfriend, sit down. When I then go and pay, I'll show the server in the restaurant my phone, say, hey, look, I got this offer on Facebook Messenger from your business. Again, the server will then just click on the customer's phone, redeem under that on the customer's Facebook Messenger conversation. And then their offer's redeemed. And then, there's double locks to make sure, are you sure you want to redeem now? Blah, blah, blah. And, people can't redeem more than once, terms and conditions, but it's done through Facebook Messenger conversation.
Perfect. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful world in terms of just the technological sort of advancements, and even apps like ManyChat and everything else within Facebook Messenger for
Mm,
that exact reason. I remember a couple of years ago now, they brought out the coffee stamp cards, right, in ManyChat, and that, to
mm,
me, I was like, wow, that's a great feature to be
mm,
able to, obviously going through pandemic, being contactless, that's even more valuable, just to be able to have the person who's serving you, click your phone, or you click it for them, and that tags off one coffee, and that's like your loyalty card, your reward card. That's what I was trying to refer to there. So that's
mm,
really cool. um,
100%.
you touch on something I find a really interesting conversation, and that's the conversation around brand or direct response. Personally, I came from the cloth of direct response because I was, again, a fitness trainer, a coach at the time, and didn't have a hell of a lot of money. In fact, I think I started with about $5 to $7 a day, which, to be fair, was did pretty well back in the day on Facebook way back then.
Mm,
But it was always about, if I'm putting $5 in, how much am I getting out, and how am I measuring that? And you mentioned obviously the concept of, which isn't new, of branding. And now you're seeing these two topics married together or meshed together
yes.
a lot
Mm,
these days.
mm.
Can we talk about that a little bit more? And what are good examples of meshing a branding exercise and a direct response exercise together?
It's a really good question. Best context I could give is sort of marketing for our business. So I can talk I can give you sort of both examples of a local business, and I'll start off
Awesome.
local. Well, let's just say a restaurant um, has been around for a long time. They got a good Facebook page. They've got a lot of loyal customers in their local area. Um, Instagram is on point. Reply to Google reviews. Maybe they do some extra marketing strategies like newspaper flyer drops, local herald, whatever it is. They've, let's say, got a bit of an ecosystem going. They have a buzz in their community. Okay. Keeping in mind, restaurants are local businesses. Most of the customers that come through, or at least most of the loyal customers, are going to be living in their local area. Okay, so that's where they focus their efforts. A restaurant like that, if you're going to, let's say, put a bit of fuel on the fire through marketing, like direct response, just naturally, if you pay to put ads in front of people in the local area, there's already a bit of goodwill in their local marketplace. Naturally, cost per results are just cheaper because you don't have to hit people with ads as many times for them to sort of uh, to capture their attention. That there's already on average in the local population they're marketing to, there is goodwill. It's just cheaper to get results based on a range of marketing ecosystem factors that are very hard to measure, but it's
Mm,
just let's just say the evidence shows that that's the case. Okay, if you have a new restaurant open up in the same area, cost selling the same thing, cost per result is going to be much, much, much higher. The skew's huge. Okay, so you only build up goodwill in an area or your local marketplace by branding, being around for a long time, serving customers good food, getting good Google reviews, maybe doing some marketing campaigns over the years, some flyer drops, having a relationship with your marketplace, maybe a range of different families in the local community have know someone who's worked in your restaurant as well. So just let's just say the goodwill points are high, and when you have high goodwill points based on a range of different factors, your direct response marketing is just cheaper. There is a correlation there. Very hard uh, to segment each element of what creates goodwill, but there is definitely branding marketing in that. Does that make sense?
Oh,
I went on a
absolutely.
bit of
Yeah.
a
It's really refreshing to hear it explained like that, Daniel, in
mm,
that you're able to have that conversation or I guess address that topic around goodwill and what that
mm,
means.
mm,
Literally, I think I've worked with two hospitality owners and really we chose to work with them because they had a very strong brand, very strong in the local. You could see it from their reviews. You could see
mm,
it from their Google reviews, their Facebook. They post a picture of food. Thankfully, that has an emotional response on Facebook anyway. So that got insane engagement. And
mm.
really, we came in and clicked a few buttons and got great results. That's
Yes.
literally what we did in full transparency. But the brand, having been there for 8 or 9 years,
Mm.
did all the heavy lifting across that. And it was just like, you know, paying to play really was an absolute no brainer. That definitely makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
Yeah, 100%. Like analogy, it might not perfectly fit this conversation, but if you're playing golf, you hit the ball from this point and the hole's over here.
Mm.
Depending on, let's say, how good your marketing is, your branding, even goodwill, is going to sort of see how far that ball's hit. And then on average, your direct response marketing will just be the last little bit. Tick the ball in and sort of start generating you results. If someone's got a lot of goodwill, they're going to be that marketing or that goodwill is going to hit the ball very close to the hole. If they have a quite a poor, let's say, marketing ecosystem or brand awareness or goodwill in their local marketplace, the direct response has to hit the ball so much further on average, which essentially is just going to be more expensive. So that's another way to look at it.
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. Absolutely,
Yeah.
they complement each other, but it seems like branding does a lot of the heavy lifting in the
Yeah.
earlier stages. Absolutely.
Mm,
Hey, here's a
cool.
question for you. What was one of your favorite campaigns or clients that you worked with, and why?
Interesting. Probably back in maybe 2018. We got a client, they're like a gastro pub in New Zealand. And essentially we ran an offer for them. And when we first started using ManyChat, we used an element called comment growth tool. So you would make a post and everyone who comments on the post automatically got sent a message. So the goal of the campaign was essentially do a giveaway. So it was a $50 voucher. Everyone who enters the draw gets a 2-for-1 taco voucher. We're like, cool,
Oof,
let's
I'm sold
mix
already.
let's mix a giveaway, which naturally people like to win things, with everyone entering getting something super high value. Anyway, so we did that, and it got like 1,000 comments in like 2 days, which was awesome. And we didn't really spend too much money boosting it, maybe $50 or $100 over a 2-day period. But I just got so many comments, which essentially sent out a large number of 2-for-1 taco offers and hence drove maybe 10 grand in revenue in like a week or two, which was pretty cool, just because you spend so little money and you generate such a big result. And when we sort of did that, we're like, I think we're onto something here. This is good. So that was probably a pretty good one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're on something too.
Mm,
Obviously,
yeah.
um, what would be your advice to say restaurant owner, cafe owner, someone in hospitality who is considering running their own ads for the first time? Two or
Mm,
three steps outside of obviously getting in touch with you guys to Be Social Media for some of your programs and having a
Mm,
chat with you guys, what would
mm,
be kind of your advice to them and what sort of steps that they should implement before
mm.
throwing some money at Facebook?
Good question. Good question. So, I literally spend my whole day just talking to hospital owners all day. That's all I'm pretty much doing. So, the way I typically tackle it is it's very case by case. But let's say someone let's be real. Marketing, people do marketing because they want the result. People don't want to do marketing. Marketing is a necessary evil to get what you want. Okay. So firstly, you need to figure out what do you want. You know, if you're operating your business at this level and you want to get to this level and you quantify this gap as $5,000 a week in increased revenue. Okay. So let's say that's your goal. That's the result you want. Then you need to sort of work backward and say, okay, well, how do we get there? Probably going to need some more marketing horsepower. In order to do that, what marketing strategies are you doing already? And if they're not doing social media posting consistently, meaning that they're not tackling the branding side of marketing first, that's the easiest stuff to start doing yourself. Okay, you don't really need to outsource that. You can get a photographer in, pay a college kid or someone at uni $200 to come take some nice food photos, let them eat the food, and then get them to edit it for you, all for that $200. And then you got a good bit of content. So start getting some posting there. Start going on Facebook Live, doing some live videos of when your venue's pumping. Quick walk around. Maybe if someone famous comes in, take some photos. Just get a bit more branding going on through your social media posts. That'll probably be the first thing. Then, depending on what you want to do next, again, very venue dependent. Let's say it's a cafe, they may want to try drive more people in. They could start spending a bit of money, maybe boosting some of their favorite posts. They might take some learnings and say, when we post a photo of our barista making a coffee in the morning with a caption of this style, that gets the best engagement. So I'm going to spend $50 a week boosting those posts once a week of similar styles. That might just get you a bit more reach. Then, if you want to move into more direct response stuff, you may want to start to grow a database. Maybe you want to get an email list. Maybe you want to start pushing out offers or promotions. And you can do that through a range of different softwares. The reason I say grow a database is because once you've got a database, it's something tangible you own. So maybe you want to go down the road of trying to grow a database. And if you do, spend money to get people to opt in to your database through maybe your website or Facebook Messenger and give them an incentive. People nowadays don't really do anything for free. So you can't just say, hey, subscribe to my database or hey, buy my stuff. You need to say, hey, here's something. In return to get this thing, I want you to do this, or please do this, and I'll give you this thing. And if that thing is valuable to your target audience, that's how you can get people to start taking action. But maybe come up with some aggressive offers, promote them on social media, track how many come through, how many people come through and redeem those offers, keep a track of their spend per redemption of that offer, see how many dollars you spent on social media advertising versus how much revenue that offer gave to you if you're doing it in a very manual way, and then calculate ROI. If you're happy with that, keep exploring maybe those marketing strategies of offers to redemptions. There's a range of different ways to do it. It's really quite contextual though in terms of the most applicable things I could give, but that's a I guess a rough overview.
No, that's good, man. Honestly,
Mm,
that's fantastic. Yeah, I really
yeah,
appreciate those tips. I'm sure our listeners will as well.
yeah, man.
Um, what's been one of the most? You mentioned aggressive offers. I'm big on offers. I would say in my ecosystem of working with also mostly trade businesses, roofers, concrete resurfacers in the lead generation world, and a little bit of e-commerce as well. It's always been, this is going to be the first time they see us. Do we want to put an offer in front of them? If so, like 80% of the time, yes,
Mm,
to recoup on some of our ad spend. Then
mm,
it's always probably spending about a week or two, if not longer, on crafting several offers and testing those offers.
mm,
Some of them more aggressive than others. Obviously, the more aggressive ones tend to have a higher uptake.
mm.
What's probably one of the best offers you've seen, I guess, in terms of however you want to quantify the result it got? But what was one of the best offers that you guys ran or that a hospitality owner ran that had a
Mm.
massive outcome?
It's a good question. Just talking maybe purely about offers. the way that I've started thinking about them now is a little bit different to when I first started. So, um, how to explain this? If a business knows how much a customer is worth to them, they know how much they're willing to spend to acquire a customer. So if
Absolutely.
I know that on average a client that works with me is on average gonna stay with me for 10 months, and they might pay me $500 a month. So I might get $5,000 customer lifetime value. So if I run an offer for, hey, come work with me for a month for free, yeah, I'm down $500 in, overheads. I've got employees to pay and whatnot. But if I know every client that comes on board, on average, will be worth 5 grand to me, doesn't really matter because I look at 500, I look at 5 grand. I'm like, cool, these numbers make sense. The only confidence in offers comes from knowing how valuable a customer is to you. Okay, so if you rather than just thinking about what's the best offer going to be, like that's a really good question to look at, but only after you know the lifetime value of a customer. So let's say I know the value of a customer to me, then I can go quite aggressive with my offers within reason to make sure that, let's say, the cost of an offer to me as a business is relatively small versus the value I get from a customer coming into my business. Okay, so that's how you have to look at offers. If you look at an offer just for a face value, someone might say, yeah, I'll do a 2-for-1 fried chicken. I'm losing out on, I paid $20, like fried chicken costs $20. I'm already down $20. And then all these cheapskates come in and just redeem fried chicken offers, and it's big bad things. Okay. But if you say, fried chicken, there's a 20% food cost. So it actually cost me $4 to make. So I do a 2-for-1 fried chicken. I'm actually down $4. It's not too bad. If I can get a customer into my business, deliver a good customer experience, and they're in the local area, someone in my local area who I give a good customer experience, on average, out of 5 of them, maybe 2 of them will become some type of repeat customer to me over the next year. Therefore, the average value of a customer to me over their lifetime is $175. Therefore, I don't mind spending $4 acquiring a customer because it's not a crazy offer. But if you look at the offer itself, 2-for-1 fried chicken, that's expensive and bad. You're probably going to look at the equation in the wrong way. So understanding the value of a customer to your business is key, but even more key is making a customer worth more to you on average. Because if you tackle that portion of the puzzle, then you can afford to spend way more on your marketing side and be so much more aggressive than everyone else because your business is so much more efficient at capturing lifetime value. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good advice.
Yep.
How are you measuring customer lifetime value for a hospitality business owner?
Yeah, it's almost too hard to measure. It's different for everybody, but the business owner themselves will probably have a bit more of a view on that.
Yep.
You can just ask, hey, out of 100 customers, new people in your local area who come in, how many do you think will come back again? They might say, I'd say maybe 40 of them will come back again. And out of those 40, how many people will come back again? They might say, yeah, maybe like 20. So cool. 1 in 5 will probably be a repeat customer or an ideal customer. So, I mean, it's just typically done through a conversation. Very difficult to measure that because hospitality, they're single purchases.
Mm.
They're not paying a subscription. If you have a subscription based business, you can quite easily figure out what's your lifetime value. In a hospo business, you have to do that. There's a bit more guessing involved.
Still good advice, man. Like I think in the grander scheme of things, a little bit different, but same. We look at, say, for an e-commerce business owner, it's like, okay, well, which one of your products are best selling or most popular over the past 6 to 8 months?
Mm,
Something statistically significant. It's like, oh, it's this bath salt or this bath scrub or whatever it is, or a coffee face scrub. And it's like, okay, um, how often are people coming back and buying that again? And obviously you can work a subscription model into that.
mm,
But as soon as you're able to identify what the lifetime value of a customer is and how often they're buying and what they're buying, you've got a really healthy runway to be able to move into some of those aggressive offers, as you
mm.
mentioned earlier. So Really good
Exactly.
tip for anyone
Exactly.
watching and listening. So that's really good advice, Daniel. Hey, in terms of platforms, what you guys are using? You mentioned ManyChat. You've got some SMS going on. Obviously, Facebook. Obviously, Instagram. Anything else you guys are using?
Not right now. Those are the big four.
Yeah.
They're still the big four. For my business, where we explore YouTube ads as well. That's something that we're touching on. But in terms for hospitality businesses, Facebook and Instagram are going to be the biggest. We do some stuff with Google reviews, so Google My Business. Trying to get more Google reviews there. But yeah, just the big juggernauts, man. Like Google, YouTube, Facebook. Email's always good. Facebook Messenger is super handy. SMS also comes into play. Yeah, they're where our focuses are in terms of platforms. Facebook and Instagram ads, I think, are awesome. They're very, very good. A lot goes on with them. Lots of changes, iOS updates and whatnot, which may affect some people, may not. I also think YouTube's quite a cool platform, maybe for someone like yourself, Rev, to get involved with potentially if you're looking to acquire new customers for your business. But yeah, for local business, it's just those main ones.
Awesome. What do you find that, and if I can ask, what do you find is the highest response or engagement rate out of those platforms on a first impression kind of basis?
Facebook ads to a messenger conversation is best. So for our business, we used Facebook and Instagram ads to like a funnel, click funnels,
Yep.
and then we take people through like a sales funnel. Then they jump on the phone with us. That's awesome. iOS updates shook that a little bit. Not insanely, but to the point where it forced us to look elsewhere. So I like focusing on social media ad, Facebook and Instagram to like a Facebook Messenger conversation. Facebook Messenger is awesome uh, for a lot of reasons because once once someone engages with you, you can re-engage with them. You don't really need their phone number to re-engage with them. People are surprisingly active on Facebook Messenger. Naturally, it's a conversational platform. You can see when someone's opened your Messenger conversation. Facebook Messenger also shows you information about the person. So if they list their employment, naturally, just in that conversation in the right-hand corner, it's going to say lives in this city, is employed at this company. So you can see all that stuff, and yeah, naturally it's just a conversational platform where people can conversate. You can send videos, you can send audio messages, and you can follow up with people super easy. I think I think Messenger's very powerful if you sort of know what you're doing.
100%. That's the first objective that I ran was a messenger bot,
Yep.
to sort of, you know, you could look at it as is pre-qualifying people before I gave them a link to jump on a call with me, but it was really just a, hey, what do you do? What industry are you in? You know, what's your best selling product, service? Just so I had some information to talk to them about before
Mm,
going away and doing some research and then booking a call. And it was just like a ragtag video of me sitting there in like a gray Adidas jumper in front of a whiteboard, just kind of scribbling, going, here's why you shouldn't do X, Y, Z. Like pretty standard kind of marketing video, right? But it
yeah.
worked really well. Haven't
Oh
really
yeah.
done anything much since in the old ManyChat bot ever since.
Mm,
But now you mentioned, I think I'll revisit that one as soon as possible.
mm,
Like
mm,
you touched on iOS really quick, which I just want to have a very quick conversation about. I don't want to spend
yeah.
too much time on it because
Yeah.
it's kind of hasn't gone full circle. But um, we're using quizzes, Typeform. That was probably massively impacted with iOS 14 because we can't register a domain name with Typeform. Typeform, funnily enough, owns Typeform.
Yep.
But we can embed those quizzes on a ClickFunnels page and have ownership and measure all the conversions and events from that style. Two-part question. iOS 14, how has it affected your business and what solution have you come up with? And iOS 14, has it affected hospo owners? If so, what sort of solution are you guys looking at?
Sure. So with Hospo, it hasn't affected anything we're doing there because everything we
Awesome.
do with Hospo are pretty much just all within the Facebook world, let's say. So, Facebook ad to Messenger or Instagram ad to Instagram DM or Instagram ad to Messenger. It's iOS isn't going to affect that because it's on platform stuff. When you're running conversion campaigns, taking someone off Facebook, aka to ClickFunnels or to Typeform or to some other funnel builder or website, whatever it is. As you know, there's little pieces of code which follow that person throughout the journey on different pages, and hence when someone hits a specific page or takes a specific action, you can see their data recorded in your Facebook ad manager. Hence you can optimize campaigns quite easily based off, let's say, successful campaigns. So as you know, tracking through social media through the Facebook ads manager has been affected quite a lot, and we don't really like that. So we're like, this isn't handy. But also the way the pixel works, as you may or may not know, when a conversion event is hit, so you would have an objective of a social media ad you're running, could be to generate a lead or a purchase. What would happen is once that campaign hits that objective, let's say you send them to a website and they buy your stuff, then that piece of data is given back to Facebook, and Facebook knows, cool, this is the type of person who took the action you want. Hence, the more of those conversions you get, the algorithm looks at all these people and builds up a bit of an avatar, and then optimizes your ads based on an avatar that's ever improving. So it becomes a bit of a flywheel. And because I think there's a bit of a skew between being able to track conversions, ads may not optimize the same as they once did. It may have thrown off other parts of the algorithm, which hence affect that situation with the algorithm. So we just saw cost per results increase on average, taking into consideration creatives that we were testing. So we had a
Yep.
creative strategy, and continually testing the creatives, we still couldn't really get our cost per result back to a point in which, I mean, we were happy with it, but it just wasn't what we were used to. So we got a bit stingy. So sort of tried to move on to like a messenger conversion. And because messenger is all within the Facebook world, ads can optimize, they can do what they need to do. And yeah, we're happy with our new strategy. So that's sort of how it affected us and a range of other people. Some people are totally unaffected based on, I don't know, whatever marketing strategy they're doing. Some people are a little bit affected. That's what we were. Maybe increased our cost per result by 25, 30%, which is, it's not incredible. It's not going to destroy us, but it just forced us to look elsewhere. And I think that's how you grow anyway. So yeah, just switched it
Totally.
because of that.
Totally.
That makes
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah.
eh?
And yeah, we've been looking at YouTube ads for that exact reason, running some other bits and pieces. But it's funny. It sounds like you've gone from, not completely, but you've made a bit of a pivot and a shift from using, say, conversion objective, cost per result going up, testing new creatives, not really being able to get that cost per result down, and then moving into Messenger. I've done the same, but instead of Messenger, I've just regressed back to lead forms again. So, building an email list and you really utilizing the thank you page of that lead form like I would my thank you page of my ClickFunnels thing. And
Yeah, man.
obviously, email marketing and nurturing really picks up a lot of the slack there, as you would know as well.
Yeah.
Um,
How
Maybe
is
last
that going
question.
for you? Is that, if you
Great.
don't mind me asking? Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll give you some further details on it because it's really just it's my lead magnet. It's a free training.
Yep.
Show people how to set up a lead form. It's not hard, in about 33 minutes.
Mm.
And that thank you page sends them directly to the training, so they get that instant gratification.
Mhm.
And that email sequence is something I've been using for a fairly long time, that has multiple steps to be able to offer to book calls. We've got a membership at $40 a month, very, very appropriately priced,
Mhm.
to be able to offer people an opportunity to get your toes wet. You can do that with the membership and so on and so forth. But lead form's
Yeah.
going good. Yeah, I've actually got a solar business over in Queensland, and we've taken that shift as well. So conversion
Mm.
objective, getting a little bit expensive. CPMs for a solar business in Queensland being very competitive market,
Mm.
very high anyway. But
Yes.
using lead forms cut that down by about 20%. Now that you've mentioned it, probably going to go back to ManyChat and some messenger stuff as well.
Yeah.
And that's hopefully that'll work really well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. One thing just on that messenger stuff, the reason why ManyChat slash Messenger is good is because, let's say you got a campaign to a lead form. What happens if someone will go to the lead form? They might look through some of it, so they've essentially raised their hand, said, "Hey, I'm interested in what you have to offer," but maybe the barrier for the lead form is a little bit too high. I don't really want to get taken off here. I don't want to answer these questions. I don't feel super comfortable. So they might, answer a couple questions, then stop. Very hard for you to then re-engage with that person. However, if you got them on a messenger conversation, say something like, "Hey Rev, so you gave us your name and email, stopped at the phone number, keen to hear a little bit about you and your business," and then they'll probably reply. Then you can essentially have a team of people or an individual who would be an appointment setter for the business, and they would manually push those people through let's say conversational sales, and that's a very big advantage which you can't do with a lot of other channels, and that's the big difference, because your cost per result might be exactly the same on both, but then you chuck in a little bit of manual horsepower, your cost per result drops way down, just because you can push them through.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I definitely see that. Once you click that get started button, you're in.
Exactly.
You're absolutely in. Yeah, no, that's
Yes.
cool, man.
Yeah.
And look, last question. What's something that I haven't asked you today that I probably should have asked you?
Um, Probably the biggest thing that we did talk about was the understanding customer lifetime value. I think that's a good business principle to understand no matter what. But if you don't understand that, going to lead to some other issues. Maybe sales stuff. We're big on marketing and sales, like the two go hand in hand. So probably uh, maybe ask questions about sales. But
All right, here's a question for you then. In that case,
mm,
thank you, Daniel.
yeah,
What would be your advice to someone who is looking to improve their sales process, generally speaking?
generally speaking, um, I like a guy called Alex Hormozy. I don't know if you know Alex Hormozy.
100% gym
He's
launch.
he's yeah, he's very, very good. Um, I finished watching a video from him just before this, and he was talking about conviction. So he was saying you could have a super skilled salesman, and it resonates with me, hence I'm bringing it up. You could have a super skilled salesman who has quite low conviction in what they're selling, and their close rate's probably not going to be super good. Whereas you could get someone who, let's say, um, my girlfriend decided to get involved in my business, and she believes in me 100%, and I say, "Look, Charlotte, you're gonna get on the phone, and you're gonna be sales." She's like, "Look, I back you 100%. I know what you're doing is a great thing." She might not have too much sales skills, but her conviction and her sort of belief in what we're doing would be so high that she'll probably close deals just based on having a good level of conviction. So probably double backing and focusing on, in what extent do you believe in what you're selling. And if you can start to improve your belief in what you're selling, your close rate's probably going to be improved. So, for instance, if you have something that's so incredible and so unbelievable that it's a no-brainer for anyone who has a conversation with you about buying this thing to not buy, you're going to do whatever it takes to get them to get involved, because your conviction is 1,000,000,000%. Whereas if I'm trying to use all these ninja tactics to try and convince somebody, say, "Yeah, it's a good thing. Why don't you do this or that?" That person's not going to be as successful as the salesperson who has massive conviction. So conviction.
Yeah, mate. I'm so glad you mentioned that. And I asked you that question now because that in itself, any hospitality business owners, you're training your staff and in trying to cross sell and upsell different products and different dishes. And do you want an extra drink? All that kind of stuff.
Mm,
Conviction. You know what I mean? It's a very different sales process to, hey, do you want another drink, or you guys all right? Or, and you kind of talk yourself out of getting another drink. Conviction
mm,
would be, do you guys want another drink?
mm,
Let them come up with their
100%.
own. Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
good. Thank you so much, Daniel. And thank you very much for your time, my friend. I really appreciate it. Love what you guys are doing. Must be honest, I love your ads more. And I see
Cool.
them all the time. So I'll make sure I give them a bit of love as I see them. For
Cool,
any
man.
hospitality business owners that want to reach out to you and get a bit more information about what you're doing, jump on a call with yourself or maybe your girlfriend.
Mm.
How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, probably just go to our website, besocialnz.com, or look up Daniel Batcheler on Facebook. I have like a business page there, and you can probably flick me a message and someone will respond, or Be Social NZ on Instagram. They're probably probably the best ways to get in touch, or flick me an email, daniel@bsocialnz.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your time, Daniel. You have a wonderful rest of your day, my friend.
Appreciate it, Rev. You too.
Cheers.